We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. history, the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar. If you're a collector, or even if you're just curious about rare finds, stick around because we're going to discuss its history, its value, and how one lucky person turned a simple 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar into a $1.5 million fortune. Let's get started. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was created as a tribute to JFK, who had been taken from us far too soon. It quickly became a symbol of American history and national pride. But what makes the 1992 D version of this coin special? Let's rewind for a moment. The D mint mark indicates it was struck in Denver, one of the two primary U.S. mint locations, with the other being Philadelphia. The 1992 D coin was part of a regular annual production of half dollars during a period when the coin was mostly used in everyday transactions. However, by the 1990s, half dollars were no longer circulating as much in everyday commerce. Despite its regular minting in 1992, the Kennedy half dollar was largely seen as a collector's item rather than currency. Still, the 1992 D coin has become a noteworthy one among collectors for a very specific reason. Looking at the coin itself, the design is striking and deeply symbolic. On the obverse, we have a profile of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse features the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The combination of these elements creates a coin that is both commemorative and deeply tied to American history. In terms of size and material, the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar is made of copper-nickel clad. It has a diameter of 30.61 millimeters and weighs 11.34 grams, typical for half dollars. Nothing too unusual, right? Well, that's where it gets interesting when we talk about rarity and value. While most 1992 D. Kennedy half dollars are worth their face value 50 cents, some have sold for extraordinary amounts. Why is that? Let's dive into what makes certain coins, like the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar, stand out from the rest. The answer lies in condition, rarity, and sometimes a little bit of luck. For the most part, these coins were struck in large quantities, so they aren't inherently rare. But in the coin collecting world, rarity doesn't always mean limited mintage. It can also mean something as simple as an error during production or the coin being in exceptionally good condition. And here's where things take an unexpected turn. Back in the early 2000s, a 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar was discovered that was in perfect condition, so perfect, in fact, that it was considered a gem-quality specimen. This coin was graded by professional numismatists as being in mint state 68, a near-perfect grade. Mint state 68 is incredibly rare, and coins of this caliber tend to command premium prices. In 2006, this coin sold for an astonishing $1.5 million at auction, setting a record for the highest price ever paid for a 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar. So what made this coin worth so much? It wasn't just the rarity. It was the incredible condition and the fact that it was virtually flawless, something that only a handful of coins ever achieve. So, let's break down what makes a coin like the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar so valuable. First and foremost, condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A coin in mint state 68 or higher, like the one that sold for $1.5 million, is extremely rare. Most coins, regardless of year, don't make it past mint state 65 because of the natural wear and tear they experience over time. Additionally, a coin's rarity and any unique features, like errors in its minting, can affect its value. For example, some 1992 D. Kennedy half dollars might have subtle errors in the design, like off-center strikes or double die obverse, which can make them more desirable among collectors. Even though a typical 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar isn't worth much, one with an error or in pristine condition can fetch incredible prices. This is why it's important to always check the coins you have for any signs of rarity or unique features. So, how can you find a valuable 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar or any coin, for that matter? The best advice I can give you is to always examine your coins carefully. Look for unusual characteristics, such as error strikes or coins that have survived in exceptional condition. If you're unsure, it might be worth having your coins graded by a professional service. You never know. What might seem like a simple, everyday coin could end up being worth thousands, or in rare cases, even millions. And if you happen to find one of these rare coins, you might just have a piece of history on your hands. That's all for today's video. I hope you learned something new about the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar and the amazing story of the $1.5 million sale. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below telling me what rare coins you're hunting for in your own collection. Hello, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a collector or just someone with a keen eye for valuable coins, then today's episode is one you won't want to miss. We're diving deep into the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar coin. This coin might look like just another half dollar, but what if I told you some rare 1997 D coins are worth a staggering $1.5 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Stay tuned to find out how and why this coin can be worth that much. Before we talk about the 1997 D and its incredible value, let's take a quick step back and look at the history of the Kennedy half dollar. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, just a few months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Mint chose to honor him with this coin, which featured a striking profile of Kennedy on the obverse, designed by artist Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse, you'll see the Great Seal of the United States, designed by Frank Gasparo. Originally, this coin was made of 90% silver, but due to the rising cost of silver, it was changed to a copper-nickel blend in 1971. Today, the Kennedy half dollar has become a symbol of American history and patriotism. Now, let's zoom in on the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why we see the D mint mark on the reverse. The D signifies that it was produced in Denver, Colorado, and is an important detail for collectors that in terms of design. It's just like any other Kennedy half dollar minted after the 1960s, with that famous portrait of President Kennedy on the front and the Great Seal on the back. But here's the thing. While the coin might appear typical at first glance, the rarity factor is what makes the 1997 D worth so much to collectors. So, why is the 1997 D worth up to $1.5 million in certain cases? The answer lies in rarity and condition. While millions of these coins were minted, most of them were distributed into circulation and remain in typical used condition. However, collectors always look for coins that are in mint condition, especially those with error features or unique characteristics. Coins that were specially made for collectors, not for circulation, are always more valuable. A high-grade 1997 D-proof coin, in pristine condition, could easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars. A small group of 1997 D coins was mistakenly struck with either double dies or other minting errors, leading to their increased value. Coins with a double die obverse error, where the image of Kennedy appears more than once, can be worth significantly more. A coin's value is also determined by its grade. Coins graded as MS-70, Mint State 70, are flawless and can command incredibly high prices, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on the rarity. First, check for the D mint mark. If you find it, it's from the Denver Mint. Be sure to confirm that it's genuine and not a counterfeit. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling or any other minting errors on the obverse, front, and reverse, back. If you spot something unusual, take it to a professional coin grader. Having your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC is the best way to determine its value. The higher the grade, the higher the price. As of today, the value of a regular 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar is around 50 cents to a few dollars depending on its condition. But the truly rare ones, those with errors, high grades, or other unique qualities, can fetch astronomical prices. Coins in mint condition with the double die error have been known to sell for up to $1.5 million at auction. So, whether you're just starting out in coin collecting or you're a seasoned pro, keep an eye out for the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar. You never know. You might be holding onto a rare treasure. That wraps up today's look at the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a coin update. If you have any 1997 D coins, Check them out and let us know in the comments. Maybe you're sitting on a gold mine. Hey, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. If you're into rare coins, you're in for a real treat today. We're going to dive into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in modern US history, the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by the history, the value, and the $1.5 million version of this coin. Let's get started. Cut to a close-up of the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar coin, zooming in on its details. First, let's take a look at the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar coin and talk a little about its background. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was meant to honor his memory and was initially minted in 90% silver. However, as silver prices rose in the late 1960s, the U.S. Treasury decided to switch the composition to a copper-nickel blend, and that's where the 1983 P coin comes in. Cut to images of earlier Kennedy half-dollars, showing the evolution of the design. The coin's design features a profile of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, created by sculptor Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic image of the presidential seal, created by Frank Gasparo. It's one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. Now, let's zoom in on the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. The P stands for Philadelphia, the mint where this coin was produced. Now, you might be thinking, why is a coin from 1983 so valuable? After all, millions were made. Cut to a graphic showing the mintage of the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. In 1983, over 60 million Kennedy half-dollars were minted at the Philadelphia Mint. So, in terms of sheer numbers, it wasn't exactly rare. However, there's a catch. This coin is famous not because of its mintage, but because of an extremely rare error that made it worth millions. Let me explain. While most 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollars are worth just face value 50 cents, there's a specific type of error coin that has been known to sell for jaw-dropping amounts, like over $1.5 million. Cut to a close-up of the rare coin under a magnifying lens, with a visual of the error details. This is the famous double-die obverse variety of the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. The double-die error occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing the details, especially on the date and inscriptions, to be doubled or appear blurred. In the case of the 1983 P, the doubling is most noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 1983. Now, the reason this error coin is worth so much comes down to rarity. While many error coins exist, this particular double-die variety is incredibly scarce. Experts believe only a handful of these coins were produced, and they're highly sought after by collectors. Cut to an image of a rare error coin in an auction setting with a hammer price. In fact, in 2017, one of these error coins was sold at auction for an astounding $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million for a coin that's worth just 50 cents if it doesn't have the error. So, how can you spot one of these rare, valuable coins? The key is to look for the telltale doubling on the obverse, especially on the word Liberty and the date 1983. Use a magnifying glass to examine these areas closely. If you see the letters or numbers appear doubled, you may have one of the most valuable coins in your collection. Cut to visuals of the doubling effect on Liberty and 1983 on the error coin. Once you've found one of these rare coins, it's important to protect it properly. Use a high-quality holder or coin slab to keep it safe from damage. If you're thinking about selling, it's best to take it to a professional coin dealer or auction house that specializes in rare coins. Cut to a visual of a coin collector's display case with error coins. Rare coins like the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar double-die error are best handled by experts to ensure they're authenticated and valued correctly. So, to wrap things up, the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar may look like just another coin at first glance, but its historical significance and the rare double-die error version make it one of the most interesting coins to collect today. Cut to the host holding the coin again, with a text overlay that reads, 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. Value, history, and rarity. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare error coins, you might just have a small fortune in your hands. And if you don't, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when you might find that one-in-a-million coin. Cut to closing screen with channel logo and a reminder to subscribe. We're diving deep into a special coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history buffs alike, the 1989 Keenedy half-dollar. If you've been keeping an eye on the world of rare coins, you might have heard whispers about the 1989 Keenedy half-dollar being worth a staggering $1.3 million. But how did a coin from 1989, not exactly ancient history, come to be so valuable? And what's the story behind this iconic coin? Let's break down the history, the rarity, and the surprising value of the 1989 Keenedy half-dollar. First, a little background on the Keenedy half-dollar itself. This coin was introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. After his death, the U.S. Mint quickly moved to replace the Franklin half-dollar with a coin bearing Kennedy's likeness. The initial design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a profile of Kennedy on the obverse, the front of the coin. On the reverse, you'll find the classic eagle design, a symbol of American strength. Since then, the Kennedy half-dollar has been minted almost every year, except for a few years in the late 1980s and early 90s. But in 1989, the coin made a return to circulation, and that's when things get interesting. The 1989 Keenedy half-dollar was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the P mint mark on the reverse. It's part of a series of coins struck in the late 80s that were somewhat overlooked by collectors at the time. After all, it wasn't a commemorative issue, nor was it seen as particularly rare. But here's where it gets intriguing. Despite the seemingly ordinary nature of the coin, there are certain examples that have shot up in value due to unique characteristics. We're talking about coins with errors, rare condition examples, or those that have been certified as flawless. So, why is this coin worth a whopping $1.3 million? The key lies in a very rare find. A certain number of 1989 Keenedy half-dollars were produced with a rare and fascinating error, a double die obverse, or double die. A double die error happens when the design of the coin is stamped twice, causing a slight misalignment. This creates a doubling effect on certain letters and numbers, making them appear thicker or doubled. It's a rare mistake in the minting process, and it significantly increases the coin's value. One particular example of the 1989 Keenedy half-dollar with this error was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. This coin, in pristine condition and with the error clearly visible, became a prime target for collectors willing to pay top dollar for such a unique find. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if your 1989 Keenedy half-dollar is worth such a fortune? The answer lies in coin grading. Coins are assessed based on their condition, ranging from good to mint state. A coin's grade can dramatically affect its value. If you think you have a rare coin like the 1989 Keenedy half-dollar, getting it professionally graded is essential. The higher the grade, the higher the value, especially for coins with errors. So, if you're looking to cash in on one of these million-dollar treasures, make sure your coin is in the best condition possible. Aside from errors and minting issues, other factors can influence a coin's worth. For instance, scarcity plays a huge role. The 1989 Keenedy half-dollar, while not especially rare on its own, becomes far more valuable when it's found in excellent condition or with errors that weren't initially apparent. Additionally, demand is a key factor. In the world of rare coins, collectors drive prices up, especially when a coin like this is tied to a historical figure like President Kennedy. His legacy, coupled with the thrill of finding a rare, valuable coin, makes this half-dollar especially attractive. To spot a valuable 1989 Keenedy half-dollar, keep an eye out for signs of the double die obverse error. The best places to check for these are on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The doubled lettering will be most noticeable on high-quality, well-preserved coins. Also, make sure your coin is in excellent condition. A mint-state coin with a sharp, clean design will always fetch a higher price. If you think your coin might be rare, it's worth taking it to a professional to have it authenticated and graded. So, there you have it, the 1989 P. Kennedy half-dollar, while seemingly just another coin from the late 20th century, holds the potential for some truly remarkable finds. Whether it's an error coin or one in pristine condition, this half-dollar could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1989 P. Kennedy half-dollar, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fascinating coin stories. And if you've got any rare coins in your collection, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear about your finds. We'll be diving into the incredible history, value, and shocking worth of a coin that's been circulating in your pocket for decades, the 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar. You might be wondering what makes this coin so special. Why is it worth up to $1.3 million? Let's find out. Grab your magnifying glass and let's dig into the details. Cut to a close-up shot of the 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar coin. Before we zero in on the 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar, let's take a step back in time. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. This coin quickly became iconic, representing not just the legacy of JFK, but also the political and social changes of the 1960s. It was a symbol of remembrance, patriotism, and national pride, and its design by Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo features a portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse and the U.S. seal on the reverse. Cut to a shot of the 1988 P coin being flipped over in the hand, showing the mint mark. Fast forward to 1988. By this time, the Kennedy half-dollar had been in circulation for over 20 years. The 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries the P mint mark on the reverse side. But what makes this particular coin stand out from other years? While the Kennedy half-dollar had already been produced in large numbers since the 1960s, the coin saw a slight shift in its usage. By the late 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar wasn't as commonly used in everyday transactions as it once was. Most of these coins were kept in circulation only by collectors and the government itself, which makes finding pristine examples of certain years, like the 1988 P, much rarer than you might think. Transition to a close-up of a high-quality, pristine 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar coin. Now, here's the real twist. The 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar is not just an average coin. In fact, some of these coins are valued at an astounding $1.3 million. But how? What makes this particular coin worth so much? Well, like most rare and valuable coins, it comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. The 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar coins that are worth millions are usually in mint state, meaning they are in flawless condition, showing no signs of wear, scratches, or blemishes. These coins must be graded at a MS 70, mint state 70, which is the highest grade a coin can achieve. But wait, there's more to the story. Not all 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollars are worth this kind of money. For a coin to reach the $1 million mark, it often has a unique error or variety. Error coins, those with minting mistakes, tend to be among the most valuable, and this is where things get interesting. Cut to an image of a well-known Kennedy half-dollar error coin. There are several types of error coins that can make a 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar worth far more than face value. Some of the most notable include: a double die occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing a doubling effect on the design. This can make certain details, like Kennedy's face, appear bold or distorted. These types of coins are highly sought after by collectors. Sometimes the coin isn't aligned properly during the minting process, causing the design to be misaligned. This creates a rare and valuable error. Missing mint marks. In some cases, certain 1988 P coins were struck with no mint mark at all. These mistakes can significantly increase a coin's value, as collectors love to get their hands on these oddities. If you come across a 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar that has one of these rare errors, and it's in exceptional condition, you could be looking at a fortune. Cut to a shot of a coin collector inspecting a 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar under a magnifying glass. Now that you know what to look for, how can you check if your 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar could be worth millions? First, take a close look at the coin. Examine the details carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Are there any signs of minting errors? Does the coin look flawless, with no wear marks? If you think you've found something special, consider getting the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Remember, the value of your coin is heavily influenced by its condition, rarity, and any unique errors. Even if your coin doesn't reach the $1.3 million mark, it could still be worth a pretty penny, especially if it's in mint condition. Cut to a wide shot of a coin collection on display. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer, investing in rare coins like the 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar can be a rewarding experience. Coin collecting is not only about owning pieces of history, but it's also a chance to own something that could appreciate in value over time. And who knows, you might find that rare gem that makes your collection worth a small fortune. Camera zooms out as you wrap up the video. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar coin, its fascinating history, its potential value, and how some of these coins have reached jaw-dropping prices like $1.3 million. If you enjoyed today's video and learned something new, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your fellow coin enthusiasts. And if you've come across a 1988 P. Kennedy half-dollar in your collection, don't just stash it away. Take a closer look, because you might just have a hidden treasure. Fade to channel logo with background music. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin has a rich backstory and an incredible value that could leave any collector astounded. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious, stay tuned as we explore its history, the coin's value, and why a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar might be worth up to $1.4 million. Let's start with the history. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Treasury and Mint wanted to honor the late president, and thus the Kennedy half-dollar was born. It quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. The design of the coin features a profile of President Kennedy on the obverse, based on a photograph taken by the famed photographer Cecil Stoughton. On the reverse, we see a heraldic eagle, which was also designed by the renowned engraver Frank Gasparo. But why are we talking about the 1972 version specifically? Well, as the years went by, the U.S. Mint continued to produce Kennedy half-dollars, but by the 1970s, the coin started to lose some of its original luster with the public. The reason for this? Well, by 1971, the Mint stopped producing these coins for circulation, and they were only made in limited quantities for collectors. By 1972, the coin's production remained somewhat steady, but fewer were seen in the public's hands. Still, it remained a symbol of respect and admiration for the late president, especially among collectors. Now let's get into the details of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar itself. On the obverse, we have the famous bust of President Kennedy, created by Gilroy Roberts. The coin is struck in 40% silver, a feature that is crucial to its value today. It's important to note that the 1972 coin was minted in both Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, with a D-mint mark. As we examine the coin closely, you'll notice the fine details, such as the full, crisp hair and facial features of JFK, along with the lettering and the stars surrounding him. On the reverse, the eagle is standing proudly, with a shield across its chest, and the coin's denomination half-dollar and United States of America written in bold, clear text. The most important feature to focus on when it comes to value, especially in the case of rare and valuable coins like the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, is the coin's condition. So, let's talk about the value of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. The first thing you need to know is that, in general, a typical 1972 Kennedy half-dollar in regular circulation condition is worth only a couple of dollars. The silver content itself gives it a base value of around $3 to $4 per coin, depending on the market price of silver. But here's where things get really interesting. The true value of a coin like this doesn't come from just the year or design. It's about the rarity and condition of the coin. Some 1972 Kennedy half-dollars, especially those in mint condition or with certain errors, can be worth much more. And when you're talking about a 1972 Kennedy half dollar with a rare variety, we're talking about a coin worth over $1 million. There are a few different factors that can make a 1972 Kennedy half dollar worth a fortune. For one, coins with high grades, like those graded by the professional numismatics company PCGS as MS68 or higher, can fetch prices that might surprise you. And then there's the rare 1972 Kennedy half dollar with a variety of mint errors. For example, if the coin was struck with misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or even doubling errors on the obverse, the value can skyrocket. In fact, some collectors have reported purchasing a 1972 Kennedy half dollar for as much as $1.4 million. But how is this even possible? Here's the secret. In 1972, a number of Kennedy half dollars were minted with a die clash error. This is where the obverse and reverse dies collided during production, causing some unusual double strikes and imperfections on the coin's design point. One of the most famous examples of this is the 1972 double die obverse. The doubled lettering and details, particularly noticeable in the words Liberty and In God We Trust, can make the coin extremely valuable. Collectors will pay top dollar for coins with these types of rare errors, and because only a few survived in such pristine condition, these coins can be worth up to $1.4 million. An astounding figure. If you happen to find a 1972 Kennedy half dollar with these features, you could be looking at an incredibly rare and valuable collector's item. So, how do you spot these valuable Kennedy half dollars? First, make sure to examine the coin's condition. Look for high-quality strikes with minimal wear. Next, use a magnifying glass to check for any signs of doubling or die errors. Finally, consult with a professional grading service to get a precise value for your coin. Remember, rarity, condition, and minting errors all play huge roles in determining the final worth of your 1972 Kennedy half dollar. So, whether you've been collecting coins for years or are just getting started, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar remains one of the most fascinating coins to own and treasure. If you think you might have a rare one, don't hesitate to get it appraised by an expert. Who knows? Your coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or even just someone who likes to learn about the hidden treasures in your pocket change, today's video is one you won't want to miss. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1976 Kennedy half dollar. This coin might just have more value than you think. Some are worth up to $1.3 million. So grab a seat, and let's take a deep dive into the history, value, and the incredible journey of this unique coin. Footage of JFK's portrait on the coin, transitioning to historical footage of the 1960s and 70s. Let's start with a little history. The 1976 Kennedy half dollar was issued as part of the U.S. Mint's Bicentennial celebration, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, you might be thinking, why did they choose Kennedy for a coin released in 1976? Great question. After the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, the U.S. Mint decided to honor him by placing his image on the half dollar. Fast forward to 1976, and they decided to update the design to commemorate the Bicentennial, giving the coin a special edge that collectors still admire today. The obverse of the coin, which is the front side, still shows President Kennedy's profile, but the reverse was given a fresh new look, with a bold design of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, a symbol of freedom and the birth of the United States. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1976 Kennedy half dollar was struck in both 40%. Silver and copper-nickel clad versions, depending on the minting location. This means the value of your 1976 Kennedy half dollar could depend on which version you have. Hold on to your hats because this is where the story gets even better. Shots of a stack of Kennedy half dollars in different conditions, followed by a close-up of a shiny, uncirculated coin. Now, let's talk about value. At first glance, you might think a 1976 Kennedy half dollar is just a regular coin. After all, they were minted in the millions. But here's the kicker. There are certain rare and unique versions of this coin that can fetch incredible amounts at auction. In fact, some are worth up to a staggering $1.3 million. Cut to a shot of a coin auction house. The 1976 Kennedy half dollar was minted at 3 different U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco had their respective mint marks, D and S. But not all of these coins were created equal. In fact, a very rare version of the coin, the 1976 S silver-proof half-dollar, was made only for collectors, and a few of them feature unique characteristics, such as minting errors or imperfections, that make them particularly valuable. Close-ups of common mint errors like double strikes or off-center strikes. Minting errors can happen at any time during production, and sometimes those errors can turn a common coin into a rare treasure. For the 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, certain mistakes during the minting process can make a coin especially valuable. These include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even coins with missing or incomplete lettering. One such coin was sold for a record-breaking $1.3 million, simply because of an error that made it so unique. A double die error, where the image is struck more than once during minting, can drastically change the value of a coin. So, while you might think you've just got a regular 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, that minting error could be worth far more than you expect. A coin magnifier in action. Zooming in on various details of the coin. Let's take a moment to talk about how you can spot a high-value 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. First, check the mint mark. If you have a 1976 S coin, it's worth keeping a close eye on its condition. Proof coins, which were struck for collectors, are often in excellent condition, but if they've been mishandled or poorly stored, their value can drop significantly. Second, look for any unusual minting errors. If your coin has something that looks off like a doubled image or an odd scratch, you might have a rare variety that could be worth more than its face value. Lastly, always check for the overall quality of the coin. Coins in mint or near mint condition, especially those that have been carefully preserved, are more likely to fetch higher prices. And if you're unsure, it's always a good idea to have your coin professionally graded by a numismatic expert. Shots of online auction sites and collectors' marketplaces. Now, let's talk about where you can sell or buy these rare coins. The market for Kennedy half-dollars, especially the 1976 version, has remained strong. Auction sites like Heritage Auctions and eBay have seen record sales for rare coins, and dealers are always on the lookout for high-quality, well-preserved examples. So, if you've got a 1976 Kennedy half-dollar in your collection, it might just be worth getting it appraised. A hand holding a 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, the camera zooming in for a final close-up shot. So, there you have it, the 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that might look like just another regular half-dollar in your collection, but it could be hiding some incredible value. Whether it's the bicentennial design, the rare minting errors, or just the fact that it's a piece of American history, this coin holds a lot of potential. Who knows? You might just have a $1.3 million coin sitting in your change jar. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes those surprises can be worth millions. So, take a closer look at your coins, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more exciting coin news and tips. See you next time. We're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar. This coin is not only a collector's item, but it holds a fascinating backstory and, believe it or not, a price tag that could blow your mind, up to $1.5 million. So, if you're a fan of rare coins or if you've ever wondered if your old coins are worth anything, stay tuned. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss any of our future coin stories. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. It was designed by famed sculptor Frank Gasparo, who portrayed Kennedy on the obverse or head side of the coin. Now, the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar, minted at the Denver Mint, is part of the ongoing series that was produced until 2001 for circulation. The reverse of this coin, featuring the presidential seal, was designed by Gasparo as well, making it a remarkable piece for collectors. But here's where things get interesting. Although most 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollars are not particularly rare, some are extremely valuable due to minting errors. That's right, errors. These coins might be hiding in your pocket change or in a coin jar somewhere in your home. But how can you tell if you have one of these rare treasures? First, let's talk about what makes the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar so special. Most of these coins are worth just a bit above face value, usually around $5 to $10, depending on the condition. But there are a few with major errors that can make them worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. One of the most sought-after errors is the D over D mint mark variety. In this case, the Denver Mint struck the coin with two different mint mark dies. The result? A rare coin where the D mint mark is visible twice, once over the other. This error occurred in a small batch of 1972 D coins and is one of the key reasons these coins have become so valuable. The 1972 D Kennedy $50 with this error can fetch anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, depending on the coin's condition. But here's where it gets really exciting. There's a very rare variety of this error, known as the D over D repunched mint mark variety, which is incredibly scarce and, when found in exceptional condition, could sell for up to $1.5 million. Collectors are willing to pay a fortune for coins with minting errors like this because they're so rare. Only a few examples have been discovered in high grade, meaning they have very few scratches or imperfections. If you find one of these in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these rare, valuable 1972 D Kennedy $50? The first thing to do is examine the mint mark closely. You'll need a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe for this. Look at the D mint mark on the coin. Is there a clear doubling or overlap of the mint mark? That could be your first clue that you've found the D over D variety. Another tip is to check the overall condition of the coin. Coins with these errors in higher grades, like MS65 or MS67, are the ones that can fetch the big bucks. So, make sure you're looking at a coin that's been well preserved, free from excessive wear or scratches. For those of you who are serious about coin collecting or just want to learn more, get a certified numismatic guide or take your coin to a professional appraiser. A grading service like PCGS can authenticate your coin and assign it a grade, which is essential when determining its value. Now, let's talk about the value of these rare coins. Coin values can fluctuate over time based on market demand, condition, and how many of these rare coins are discovered. The 1972 D Kennedy $50 with a D over D error has experienced a steady increase in value over the years, especially as more collectors get into the hobby and as fewer uncirculated examples remain in the wild in recent years. The most famous examples have sold at auction for prices in the hundreds of thousands, with the highest-selling coin reaching an astonishing $1.5 million. What makes this coin so valuable is its rarity, the popularity of the Kennedy $50 series, and the historical significance of the minting error. So, if you're holding on to a 1972 D Kennedy $50, take a close look. If it has the D over D mint mark error, you could have a very valuable coin in your hands. Even if it's just a regular 1972 D, you could still have something worth more than its face value, especially if it's in great condition. For all you coin enthusiasts, this is just another reminder to keep exploring the world of rare coins. Who knows? You could be holding the next $1 million find in your collection.